Macros, Mindset, and Muscles.
I'm Coach James.
And I'm Coach Brittany.
We're here to give you the truth about health and fitness.
No gimmicks, no bullshit, just facts. What's up, Phoenix fam?
We are back.
It's been about, 2.5 weeks since we actually recorded an episode.
I believe so, 2.5.
So we are here with episode number 50 today.
Boom, 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 boom.
Big 50.
Big 50.
Pretty excited about this episode.
A good one.
We just came back from our trip from Jamaica on Tuesday. So Tuesday, July 2nd is when we came back.
Beautiful place.
It
Beautiful.
was an awesome trip. Very memorable. Some lasting impacts were made. And we had a really good time.
Yeah, we made some great friends.
Yeah, we started off the week a little rough, honestly. Like, we were like, I hate it here. I'm ready to go home.
Yeah.
Because when, like, you're in an all-inclusive resort and you don't drink, when it rains, there's nothing for you to do.
There's nothing to do. It rained constantly the first 2 days. So we're like, what do we do? And everybody's just sitting around drinking. We're like, I guess we'll eat again. Like,
Go to the room.
Let's go to the room. And yeah, that's what we did.
So, I mean, we ate a lot. The food was just meh. But,
Yeah.
I mean, it's resort food. It's not, like, the greatest. I personally think that the cruise food was better overall for the most part.
Right.
There were some standout things that were really good in Jamaica.
Yeah, but they were far and few between.
Yeah. Like them little Jamaican patties. I actually really
Those
like
were
those
good.
things. Those were good.
Like, I think we should make those at home.
Yeah. It's like a Jamaican Hot Pocket.
Yeah.
That's like
They
the
had
comparison.
chicken and beef and like
And it's like this flaky, like
a
pastry.
croissant.
Yeah, like a flaky croissant crust type
Just imagine
thing.
like a pastry filled with like shredded beef or chicken in a croissant.
In a croissant.
Croissant.
It was really good. What else was like good? I mean, we ate
Steak.
yeah,
at
there was
one
a
place.
steak at one place that we ate that was really phenomenal. But everything else was just kind of meh, you
Yeah,
know?
there's a few appetizers and I just would order like 5 of them
Yeah.
and everything else just kind of fades in the distance. Nothing really memorable on the food end.
We didn't really like get to explore outside of the resort this time. But we plan on going back to do that. We did enjoy everything that we could possibly do, like on the resort. I mean, we snorkeled 2 times a day, for an hour each time. We learned that you have to do these things early in the day in the wet season because
'cause the
it
storm's
starts
coming.
raining in the afternoon.
It would start out just like sunny skies, blue, no cloud in sight. You sit down to eat lunch and then here it comes.
Yep.
It's like, well, glad we got that done.
Yeah, so wear yourself out early in the day. Don't sleep in. Take advantage of the whole day because then you can just take a nap when it rains.
Yeah, we were at the resort for the sleeping in crew, I guess, because we'd get up and there's nobody.
Yeah.
There's nobody awake.
They're like a 24-hour coffee bar.
I'm like, where's the coffee?
Except for people who wake up early.
Yeah, right. Everybody else, I guess, was up late night drinking, and we still went to bed somewhat early. I mean, there's a couple nights we stayed up, but it's still like us sleeping in, like nobody else was still up. So,
I mean, we were up by like 5:30
yeah, sleeping in.
most days. So actually all days. I think the first couple days we woke up a little earlier, but we just laid back down.
I'll tell you what, if that coffee had been ready, I'd have been up.
Yeah.
We would have been up. It's just like, all right, let's kill some more time. Let's lay around. So
Let's talk about coffee because Blue Mountain coffee is pretty damn good. I wish we would have bought some while we were there, but I didn't really think about it. Or at least stash like some of the the hotel room coffee.
we
Like
definitely should.
it actually was good coffee in the room. Surprisingly, because a lot of times they give you like crap coffee, but it was really good. It was like BLUM Blum. Anyways, Blue Mountain is what it was. And they give you a couple packs a day. You drink it, they give you more. So I just learned to start hiding.
Yeah, our Chester doors had like Cokes and waters and coffee packs in
The
it.
sugar-free Cokes, which let me tell you, their zero sugar Coke tastes a lot different than like our zero
A lot
sugar.
better.
Yeah, it's
Like,
better.
I didn't even feel like I was drinking a zero sugar. Like, I was like, this is delicious.
It was good. And then we get back to the US and we got a Coke, a zero sugar Coke. And there was a significant difference between the two, even though they're both zero sugar. I don't know what it is.
There's something.
It definitely tastes different. So today, that's kind of our little thing. Actually, no, we're not done talking yet. Let's talk about snorkeling.
Snorkeling was beautiful. It was fun. It was under the water. Hard to breathe under there. We also did snuba, which I found out that I'm very uncomfortable breathing underwater because it goes against like everything you know. So like timing your breath and like when I get anxious, I hold my breath. I don't take deep breaths, and that is a big no when you're snuba-ing. And so the first time we did it, Brittany's like, "I got this," and just went on down, and I'm like freaking out, man. Like I'm just like, can't do this. Like I can't. So I had to stay up top for a little bit. When I say a little bit, almost the whole time. And while she's down there, and I'm just like, I'm up there doing it. It's just like I could stick my head out of the water if I needed to, or I wasn't far from the top. And eventually, I calmed down, and I was able to go down there. And then we went back another day so I could conquer my fear, and I did it.
I mean, it is weird, like when you do this for the first time. So snuba, for those of you who don't know, it's like snorkeling and scuba combined, but you don't have to be certified. You don't really have to do anything. Like you just show up. They teach you right then and there. You can go up to 20 feet deep, but you still have like an oxygen tube line that's attached to a raft above, or it could be attached to a boat. It just depends on where you go. Ours was on a raft. So you are limited as to how deep you can go. But it's still, I think, a good like introduction into scuba because you get that whole breathing underwater thing, but also you're like not as far down.
Yeah, apparently I'm a very nasal breather because I just straight up all the time breathing out of my mouth. Like I was like, and I kept like sucking in with my nose and like. Anyway, it took me a while.
Yeah, and we also learned that like if you laugh underwater, you have to be really fake about it because if you laugh and you like laugh out of your nose, water gets in your mask, and then like you have water in your nose piece, and you're like. Obviously, we don't know how to clear our masks yet.
Yeah, we're not that good. The guy in the scuba gear, well, he was good. Like, you look over there, he's got his mask off. He's checking his flippers. He's got a flipper off, and he's just floating around. He's like in the middle of the water, no mask on. And he's like, "I got this." I'm like, whoa, I definitely felt intimidated.
It was cool though. When we were snubaing, we didn't see a whole lot. It was still a cool experience because like you're breathing underwater, you're deeper than you would be snorkeling. We saw some scorpion fish, we saw sea cucumbers, conch, lobsters.
I don't even know what we saw.
A bunch of other fish. When we were snorkeling, we actually saw a lot snorkeling. So when we were snorkeling, we saw an eagle ray one of the first days.
I got it on camera.
That was very cool. It's like it's a stingray with white spots on it, in case you're wondering. We saw lobster, we saw pufferfish. Leo, if you're listening to this, you're awesome. He got a pufferfish. So on our last snorkel trip, which also was like the last snorkel trip to go out before the storms, because they started putting the boats in safe harbor after that. We were the only two on, and Leo he knew that we had signed up for night snorkeling a bunch of times and it got canceled every time. So he got in the water with us. He was showing us stuff and he got a little puffer fish. And let me tell you, puffer fish are pretty fucking cute when they're puffed up. They're very like there's a lot of attitude.
It actually reminded me a lot of you. Like, oh, she's adorable. But she's pissed off and just all puffed up, trying to be tough. And she's like so cute.
So we saw pufferfish, we saw sea cucumbers, a bunch of shells, starfish, needlefish, angelfish.
A bunch of fish.
Yeah, like all kinds of things. Sergeant majors are really cool. Those are those black and yellow striped ones, remember?
Yeah, they were sweet.
And they were like swarming right underneath of us. And it was like, we're in like a school of these fish. It was just really cool. We paddleboarded. We did the water trike.
Yeah. Also, let's talk about the trike real quick. it looks cool. You're like, oh, I bet that's a little lovely little experience, like for a little water date. You know what? F that. That thing is a fucking workout. It's a fucking workout. That thing, and then Brittany, I was like, oh, it's gonna be okay because she got these strong ass legs and she jumps on the Peloton all the time. Nope. She didn't help at all.
I did help.
I wasn't doing shit.
I was doing shit.
I'm sitting there, my legs are burning, my quads are burning. And I was like, oh man, I need a little break. So I didn't say anything. I just like stopped pedaling a little bit. We stopped. She wasn't pedaling at all.
In my defense, I'm really short and I can't just sit back and pedal like that. Like I have to scoot up to the edge of the seat and I'm also holding our bag and everything else and recording as well.
You should have seen me trying to get off this thing because my legs are shaking, my quads are burning, my glutes all cramped up. I was like, I couldn't wait to. And then also there was like no waves or no current, like nothing to help bring you back in. It's just you just had to keep it pedaling.
We attempted to learn the Hobie Cat, which is like the little mini sailboats, and
too much thinking.
Jason really tried. He tried hard to teach us, and he's like, okay, he drew a diagram, and he's like, which way is the wind blowing? I'm like, I don't know, Jason. I don't even know which way is north right now. Like,
oh yeah, he was like, which way's north? Which way? I had to bust out some biblical stuff on it to figure it out. And then he's like, all right, well, to go here, if the wind's here, you got to zigzag this way. And we're like, all right, we're not going to do this. Like, give me a board with a paddle.
It was so much easier, which we did do the paddle boarding. We came back from one of the snorkel trips and they're like, there's a sea turtle over there by that buoy. So if you get the paddle board and you go out there, you'll see him. And his name is Benjamin. That's what Jason said his name is, Benjamin. So we go out there and we're chasing this freaking turtle around, not like literally chasing him, but we're just trying to catch him, like coming up. And he's so quick. Like he comes up, takes the breath, goes back under. But beautiful, like big sea turtle that just hangs out in this one spot. And he was, every time we went out there, he was out there.
Yeah. What about that massive stingray that we saw? And then it was like chasing me.
Yeah. We're on the paddle boards, and James is like, "Oh my gosh, there's something following me." I'm like, "Oh, it's a big ass stingray." Mind you, I wear glasses, so you can't really trust my vision.
I should wear glasses.
So, anyways, he's like, "It's following me." It turns out it was a big, like stingray shaped, like diamond shaped piece of concrete that's like an anchor.
And I wasn't going nowhere. Like we sure thought it was a thing, and like she like stuck the camera underneath it, like, ooh, I got it on camera. And then later when we looked at it, it was just a piece of fucking concrete
with a rope. The rope came out like the stingray's tail, like just the way that it was shaped. I was laughing so hard reviewing that back. I'm like, yeah, you were getting chased by a piece of concrete.
Yeah, shows you how good I am on a paddleboard. But anyway,
so we went to Negril. Shout out to the staff there, the people that really made our trip. Jason, our friend, Leo, Lucian, and Selena, our butler on our cabana day. We had a lot of fun with them. But we also realized some things too on this trip.
Here it is.
And this is where we're going to lead into our episode.
What inspired it.
Yeah. So, obviously Jamaica is not like America, right? It's not like the USA. And the lifestyles are completely different. Coming into the airport, I mean, it's an airport. It looked like an airport. You come out of the airport and you start driving through areas and you realize, like, okay, we're somewhere else now.
Yeah.
First of all, they're fucking insane drivers.
Yeah.
I thought that my drive with Trinity the day she got her permit was scary. Nope. Riding with Jamaicans is worse.
There's no traffic laws. There's no traffic laws or speed limits.
Yeah, like you're not getting pulled over by the cops for, reckless endangerment, reckless driving. But anyways, you're driving through and there's people everywhere. We got there at like rush hour, so there was a lot of people everywhere. They drive on the left side of the road. Steering wheel's on the right side.
Don't matter. They just drive on whatever side of the road they feel like at the moment.
Yeah.
They swerve at the last second as you almost hit a bus head on.
Yeah.
But that, anyway.
That's how we know.
Yeah. As you crap your pants.
Anyways, we're going through and um we actually we wanted to have the windows down like when we're driving so that we could see everything. It was she had the AC blasting anyway, so I was like, let's just roll down the window and like take everything in. And it's just different. The houses are not like houses here. They're like a shack with like a lean-to type thing on it.
They're open.
Yeah, they're
a lot of open doors.
Yeah, like a one-room house type of thing.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that there weren't some like other houses out there, but they're not the norm. People walking in the streets and they're like selling buckets of fruit. Lychee, is that what it was?
I think so. A little berry.
Yeah, something like that.
And mangoes.
Yeah, mangoes. They're just walking. They have like baskets of fruit, and they're just like selling it in the street. You have guys walking around with like bags of weed, just like, here, you want some smoke? Here you go, and like drop it in the window. Yeah. We're like, no thanks. But going through the main areas, like coming out of Montego Bay, you see a lot of that, and then there's a lot of like villages, parishes along the way that are very similar. Again, you have like, I don't know how many like real gas stations we saw, but I think it was like maybe 3 total.
Yeah.
We did see a Burger King in that one area where the cops were like chilling. Yeah. Remember? But coming into Negril, it was a lot. It was a lot cleaner than like most of the way up there. And the area is really beautiful. Like there's so much to see.
I don't know if it was like cleaner or if it was just a little more developed.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? Like, because it wasn't like that. It was like there was just trash everywhere. Like, that's not what I don't think that's what you meant. Like
no, but there were areas that did have a lot of trash in them.
Well, yeah, they were just like in some abandoned little homes. But as we got into Negril, it did seem a little more developed.
Yeah. So really what we want to kind of talk about is fat privilege.
Yeah.
The privilege that you have to live the lifestyle that you have in our country, in the US. One thing that we talked to some of the locals and we made some friends out there. And, one of our friends had never even had steak before, which is crazy. Like, we eat steak all the time. They don't have like gyms like we have, or even the choice to have like the food like that we have, like to choose from. Like, oh, you're a little tired and you don't feel like cooking today. Well, you can go grab something really quick. Like, that's not how it is for most of the population out there.
Or being a picky eater, like, oh, I don't like these foods. I only will do this.
Yeah, I don't like that fruit, or I don't like that vegetable, or I don't like fish. Like,
they had options, but like, there were certain foods that they pretty much had to stick to because that's what's available.
Yeah, and like, you're gonna eat what you can eat. I feel like that we as Americans really kind of take shit for granted here.
Yeah, we do. And like, one of the early observations, like, remember, like, this was from the ride. As soon as we got off the plane and we're riding through the different little towns and stuff, I just looked over, I was like, you don't see one person overweight.
Yeah.
Not one person is overweight. Like, very rarely, there's a couple people that are pretty kind of thick, but like, it's
not the norm.
But when I say thick, like, we're not talking about like American thick. Like, they were just not as thin.
Yeah. And, a lot of that is because they live physically active lives. Like, you're moving a lot, you're walking a lot. They're not like, oh, I couldn't get my steps in today.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I was just tired. I just sat on the couch all day. Like, they do not get to do that,
Yeah, it's not like here. Like, if you're of the very low income, there's just no government assistance where here's you a home and here's you, a couple, $1,000 or $1,500 a month stamps, and here's you a Social Security check for you to sit on your ass in your house and just eat junk and not be active. Like, that's not an option if you want to live. Like, you're hungry and you don't have food or money, like guess what? You gotta go in the ocean. You gotta try go fish. You gotta go get some fruit out of the that's growing.
Yeah.
You know, like if you want to live, you have to work for it.
Yeah.
And then they were some hustling people, and I respect the hustle. Like whatever your background is and wherever you come from and your circumstances, like there's only so much you can help with that, but you can choose to make the best of it and to work hard and to do your best with what cards you're dealt. And they were like they were hustling people. They were
the happiest people.
Yeah. And when I say hustle, I'm not talking about like pulling a scam. I'm talking about like, hey,
Genuine.
I went out and I picked all this fruit. Would you like to buy some fruit?
Yeah. Or hey, I just carved this out of wood.
Yeah.
Right here. Or hey, you know what? Here, buy one of my bracelets. But you know what? I'm gonna make one for you.
Yeah, I'm gonna make you. Let me see your.
You like that one? I'm gonna make it for you.
I'm gonna make one to fit just you.
Yeah.
Like
it's
just a completely different culture because like here in the United States, we have this entitlement that you deserve these things and you deserve to be taken care of and you deserve, all these things when nobody owes you shit.
And, I'm not saying like, I think that everybody in the world deserves that. But the reality is that not everybody gets that. And here in the US, we take that shit for granted. We're like, I'm just going to be lazy.
Well, yeah,
I'm not
that's
gonna,
what I mean. It's like
I'm not going to work. I'm not going to do this, whatever.
Like
but
people just sit back and wait for a handout because they feel like that's what they deserve. And yes, you should try to help people. And yes, like you're able to, you should. But this pour me and wait for somebody else to show up and save the day, like that ain't real life. Like you gotta get out there and like make shit happen.
We again, privilege. Like it's just something that we take for granted.
Yeah.
We're talking to one of our friends that we made there and, we're talking about working out and like gym and stuff like that. And, they wanted to see a picture of our gym and we showed a picture of our gym and he was like, your gym is bigger than my whole house.
And I instantly felt like
asshole. Fucking shit.
I felt like shit.
Yeah. Because even we are not, we're middle class in the US, like
lower class.
Yeah, we struggle, the reality, like we struggle and shit. It's a struggle, like we have everything that we need and then some. But it's just the reality, of like our garage is bigger than the size of somebody's whole house.
And
somebody that made our trip too.
Yeah. It's not just him in his house, his girl, his two
daughters.
Kids, 2 daughters.
One is 3 and one is 1. Like
all in the home, and we're sitting in our house. We have a nice house, I think. Man, I just instantly felt like an asshole because it's just like it's just a whole different world. Like the culture, country, and the income there is like just different.
And people are working. Like that's just the thing. Like they're moving, they're active. There's no like, I don't know. Just there's no excuses.
There's not excuses,
and even given the circumstances, every single one of those people were happy as shit.
And yeah, and I was jealous. In a way, like I envy them because we get so caught up in a lot of bullshit and need this to be happy. I need to do this to be happy. I need these physical things to be happy. And these people, they were just living life and content, just living their life and not boasting and buying all this fancy clothes to put on this persona of, look how great I am. Like, I don't know. It was a different culture and genuine.
Yeah. Like genuine, I think is a good way to put it. So, talking about food choices and stuff and why we talk about like how it's a privilege here to be fat, right?
Yeah.
Everybody complains that they're fat and they're overweight or this or that, right? That they're unhealthy. But it's a privilege. It's a choice to be that way, right? Because the amount of food choices that are available to us here in the US is insane. Like, insane. We can go to a grocery store. I mean, how many grocery stores are within a mile of us? Like 3, 4?
Yeah. And how many do we see over there?
And, like at any given time, like we can go get whatever we want from the grocery store.
Yeah.
We don't have to go catch our food. We don't have to pick our own food. We don't have to grow it or anything like that, because other people do it for us. But out there, like that's not necessarily the reality for everybody. They might be catching their own seafood or growing their own fruits or finding the wild fruits and picking it out there. And I think it's just a like slap to reality to just be like, we have it really fucking good. And your excuses that you're making
with everything that's available for people to thrive and be their ultimate best. Sadly, a lot of people use that to be their absolute worst.
Mm-hmm.
It brings out the worst. It's like without conflict, they don't strive. Yeah. Without hardship, they don't fight. It's like they ease into the comfort of temporary bullshit. And like you said, we have grocery stores everywhere with all kinds of food. You can be vegan, vegetarian. You can have it with this. You can have it with that. It can be pre-cooked, and you just throw it in the fucking microwave. You don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
You can go to a gym. There's gyms all over the place, even super cheap, like Planet Fitness. We have the internet. We have electricity all over the place, and you got access to all the information there is. If you're listening to this podcast, you have all the information to get started and to start taking your health serious and losing fat and being healthy. What are you doing with it?
Choosing convenience. That's what I think a lot of people do, here is they choose convenience. They're lazy. I'm sorry you're listening to this and you're getting offended.
Fuck that. I'm tired I'm tired of being politically correct, and I'm sorry that if you're it's going to hurt your feelings if it's true.
Well, I was getting there, motherfucker, if you would let me finish.
Sorry.
Like your laziness is a choice. The way that you live, your body, the condition that it's in, it's all because of your choices. You have all the tools, all the privileges to live a healthy, active life. But you choose convenience. You choose fast food. You choose ultra-processed foods. Not that any of these things are inherently bad, but the truth is they have a lot more calories in them. And that's what, these other countries don't have. They eat what's readily available to them. And I guarantee you that it's not, Chick-fil-A. Yeah. I actually did not see one Chick-fil-A while we were there. Did see a Burger King.
Saw some wild chickens, though.
We did see some wild chickens and goats and cows and crabs, which them crabs, they throw up some hands.
They got attitude. Those crabs from the streets, boy, they fucking around.
And it's just, I don't know, like really eye-opening coming back and realizing all the privileges that we have, and the tools that we have available to us to be healthy and, more active. But so many people, I mean, obesity is like one of the number one health issues in this country.
What's funny is like just sitting here thinking like Jamaica, we've talked about like the income there, the opportunities there, all this stuff. And I guarantee you they're way more healthy as a country than we are.
Yeah. Now, like, in terms of like as a
lack of healthcare and all those things, yet I still would put my money on that overall people are more healthy because they're active, they're eating whole nutritious foods like fish, chicken, those things, fruit, and they're active versus the American diet.
Yeah, standard American diet.
Yeah,
100%.
It's just this topic's really got me fired up. So I'm not like trying to be a dick. It's just coming out because It was very eye opening.
Yeah. I just think it's like people just don't realize like everything, even for us, like going there and seeing things the way that they are and seeing how other people live, it's just more eye opening and it just really puts things into perspective that like people here, their problems with their health are brought on by themselves, and they're brought on because they have so many luxuries that they don't realize are luxuries.
And the luxuries are killing you, and because like I had a shit realization. I was there adding up what I've eaten. I'm like, all right, now I still need X amount of protein. All right, so what I'll do is I'll just go in there and I'll make me a double scoop of protein powder. Make sure I hit this. And then I'm sitting there thinking, if I lived in Jamaica, how would I hit this protein number that I'm so concerned with in that environment? Like my problem here is like I'm trying to hit this like macro, blah blah blah. Just a whole different mindset. It's just like I don't know.
Yeah.
Like the shit I worry about here, like wouldn't it be even a concern there? Like
So basically, what we're saying here is you have all the control in this situation. You have all of the luxuries, all of the tools, all of the food options, fitness facilities, everything that you need to be the best physically fit, most active version of yourself. These health problems that are brought on by your lifestyle are 100% manageable and controllable by you. But you have taken advantage of the privileges that you have. And because of that, you're in this vicious cycle where you're playing the victim to yourself and you're making up reasons why you can't do this. Like, oh, well, my kid's this or my kid's that or my job or whatever.
My job that I sit down.
Yeah, in the air conditioning.
In the air conditioning all day long. It's so terrible that you can't do 45 minutes of exercise 3 days a week.
Yeah. So it's just fix your shit. All right.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say about it. I have a renewed perspective for this, and I feel very blessed that I have the choices that I have and, the tools that I have. And kind of want to make a difference for other people.
I do too.
And people who appreciate it, like I don't even know like where I'm going with that, but it's like
I want to help the people that really want to be helped.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we meet people who it sounds good, it's a good idea,
but then they have to do the work and they don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Because they want everything given to them without the work.
Back to this entitled, I deserve this. Like I'll just buy a pill or a shot.
I'll just buy it.
I'll just buy it.
If I hire a coach, like I'll just get the results without the work. Or if I just pay for this pill or if I just pay for this surgery, whatever,
Yeah, this isn't something that you can buy. That's the thing about any fitness journey. It can't be bought. It's the great equalizer of life. It doesn't matter how rich or poor or it reveals all. If you're full of shit, you're full of shit. If you're determined and strong-willed and are going to want to find a way, you'll find a way. But if you're lazy, it's going to show.
Yep. You have all the power.
Yeah.
So it's really up to you. I know that this was kind of like a meh episode, but it's something that was just heavy on our hearts coming back, seeing how another country lives. Not that there was anything wrong with the way that they live.
No, it's like I said, I'm really envious.
Yeah.
In a way.
It's very, I'll tell you what, the whole week we were there, I mean, we never felt better. Granted, yes, we were staying at a resort, but we spent a lot of time outside and a lot of time, hanging out with people.
the sun, by the water.
The salt and the sand and just the good vibes that Jamaicans give are awesome. So, anywho, you got anything you want to add to that?
I think we said it all.
So I think that, hopefully maybe this will kind of open your eyes a little bit. And if it doesn't, I just challenge you to go to another country and see for yourself, because then it really puts your quote unquote problems into perspective.
I know I have a new appreciation for everything in my life. I mean, I was very appreciative to begin with, but like, I do feel very privileged. I don't know if say privileged. Yeah, privileged, because a lot of people don't have the opportunities or resources that are available here.
Yeah. So, with that being said, this was episode number 50.
Yep. Big 5-0.
It also was really hard for us to do this today because we're still, it's been weird coming back. We snorkeled a lot. We did all that. We traveled. Our ears are still, we still have some inner ear stuff going on.
My body is rejecting this whole big home.
Yeah. It's like,
tell how nasally I am. Like I had to need to blow my nose for like the past 15 minutes and I haven't.
It's like a vitamin D withdrawal for me. Lacking sunshine, no daily grounding with my toes in the sand.
Ocean water.
Yeah. So, but we are back and we're getting back into our routine, which is the hardest part about traveling, coming back and getting into your routine. So anyways, that's all I got.
That's all I got.
All right. We hope y'all enjoy this and maybe it helps put things into a different perspective for you. So until thanks for listening to Macros, Mindset, and Muscles. Until next time.
I'm James.
I'm Brittany. We're out.